Daylight, my MVVs, welcome. Ebony had initially thought it was her turn, okay, until Queen Naomi's pictures were sent. And they said, when Queen Naomi's pictures were sent, look, when this whole thing happened, we heard that Olori started canvassing, maneuvering, and all of that. But Okabiesi, the letter was sent to the palace, okay, officially to the palace. And as you know, the Oloris are in different positions. So they will get certain letters before they forward to the Ooni of Ife, okay? They got this information before even the Ooni of Ife. Immediately before the information got to the Ooni of Ife, you know, there is a lot of politicking in the palace of the Ooni of Ife. They already started canvassing, trying to be the best, trying to be chosen, and all of that. And of course, as you know, Ebony is somebody who has too much confidence in herself, and she feels like she's the best thing that has happened to that palace. And why does she feel that way? She feels that way because of this her calabash carrying. You know, it's a traditional community. Normally, if not for the grace of God that is with Queen Naomi, she is supposed to stand out, okay? But God is so much with Queen Naomi that Queen Naomi's light shines through the heavens and shine here. Queen Naomi's light is coming from the deepest place that nobody understands, and that is why you see that all of those other elements are in harmony with Queen Naomi. I don't know if you have been hearing how they will say that Ifa priest came and said something and said this about Queen Naomi. Ordinarily, one will wonder why Queen Naomi that is a Christian, Queen Naomi that is a born-again prophetess, why would they choose her over others? Everybody would have thought that if you want to follow the ways of the world, they will pick Ebony over Queen Naomi all the time. But God is brighter and God is more powerful than anybody. He is the king of all principalities and powers. So no matter how deep you think you are, no matter how dark you think you are, no matter what kind of ancestor you think you are, God is on top of you. God is on top of you. He is the king of all principalities and powers. It is in the Bible, okay? So Ebony, okay, truly believed this was her moment. After all, she had been putting in time, effort, and, you know, presence always around the Ooni of Ife, always making herself seen, always trying to appear like the one woman who truly understands the throne, the kingdom, and the man behind the crown. She had convinced herself that her dedication, her loud royalty, and her consistent appearances were enough to finally secure her place, not just in the palace, but in the Ooni of Ife's heart. But just when she thought the doors was opening for her, something happened. Something that changed the entire energy out of nowhere without warning, okay? Pictures started circulating, not just any pictures. These were of Queen Naomi. And no, it wasn't from some random palace staff or insider trying to stir drama. The pictures were sent directly by the Ooni of Ife himself. You could feel the shift in the room. Even Royale, one of the monarch's closest, you know, international allies, was visibly stunned. There was a certain look on his face when he saw the pictures, okay? Not of, you know, just surprise, but admiration. He reportedly says she's not just beautiful. That man says Nami is not just beautiful. She's royal, pure, elegance. Okay? That she's royal, pure, elegance. That was what the man said. Where the picture got there, they said it was an international ally that opened up to the palace sources that when the president of Royale saw Queen Naomi's picture, he said the man was stunned in admiration. That he said she's not just beautiful, she's royal, pure, elegance. And you and I know this is what Queen Naomi is. Now, it will interest you to know that the pictures that the Ooni of Ife sent were not ordinary portraits. They were intentional, graceful, filled with quiet power. Naomi didn't need to speak or pose too hard. Her presence alone in those frames was doing all the talking, and the message was loud. The queen has not been replaced. Queen Naomi remains the queen, the great queen. We heard that Ebony was crushed. You could see it even though she tried to keep her composure. And then came the family meeting. Whisper turned to discussion, and discussion became outright confrontation. They say Ebony's family, especially her elders, okay, didn't hold back. They reminded her of the opportunities she squandered, okay? When you were supposed to nurture your bond with the Ooni of Ife, one of them reportedly said you were too busy complaining about Queen Naomi, about the private jet, about everything that didn't concern you. Okay, they said that was what Ebony's family, people who have always been there for her, supporting her. This opportunity that she missed, they are feeling so bad because it's one of the biggest opportunity that can ever be in the palace of the Ooni of Ife. They told her point blank, instead of pampering him, making him feel understood and respected like Queen Naomi does, you were stuck on trying to compete with a woman you should have studied and the Ooni of Ife. He noticed, okay? Now, you know something. If you notice something about Queen Naomi and Dr. Elizabeth, do you know that Queen Naomi and Dr. Elizabeth will always be the highest of the Ooni of Ife's wives? See, let me tell you what Dr. Elizabeth has done. You see, Dr. Elizabeth, that woman is very intelligent. That woman has been studying Olori Naomi. She's moving behind Naomi's footsteps. One thing that Naomi shows to the Ooni of Ife is that Naomi shows understanding. Now, recall what happened in 2020. When all the drama happened in the palace, what did Naomi do? Naomi left quietly. Well, we may say she didn't leave quietly because of what she posted on Instagram, but you and I know why she posted that. The evil, those who don't like Queen Naomi may never admit this in public, but you and I know that. They pushed her, they wanted words for her, but God did not allow her. She left. Since she left, when have you ever heard that Naomi said this about the Ooni of Ife, or Naomi said, the only time Naomi granted an interview was when she said, she cannot go back to the palace with all of those powerful women there. Does she look like somebody who can fight them? That was the only time. Remember when she granted an interview in Mercy Johnson's show? Yeah, she said she's still doing her queenly role outside the palace. She said this with her mouth. She's still a queen. She's still doing her queenly roles. She said she doesn't like crowd. That Kabiyesi likes crowd. Let it just be that way. They are both best parents to their children. That was what she said. Naomi shows understanding. No? If I even tell you what is going on right now, don't worry, tomorrow I'll bring you that information. So, one thing that is making the Ooni of Ife continue to, go after Queen Naomi is self-respect. Is the level of understanding and maturity that Naomi shows, and all of that. You saw what happened to Naomi in December. If Naomi was not an understanding woman, if Naomi was not a mentally strong woman, when she came back, she would have been all over social media. Did you see her do anything? She only came when she came. She came to thank her fans, those who supported her. And she said her eyes have seen and her ears have heard. The next time we saw her is during her birthday. She's just busy building, being so beautiful. Did you see how calm and collected and how sweet she was looking during that birthday? Did you see that? That glow is coming from the place of love. It's coming from the place of satisfaction. It's coming from the place of winning. It's coming from the place of, complete, what do I say? Complete, knowing that you have captured your territory. That is where that glow you saw that day is coming from. Let's be honest, Dela, right? The Ooni of Ife is a man of tradition, yes, but he's also deeply intuitive. He's not easily fooled by noise or appearances. He values peace, dignity, stability, and Queen Naomi gives him all of that without forcing it. She doesn't beg for attention. She doesn't chase headlines. She simply exists in her truth, and that's what draws him back to her every single time. What's even more shocking is that these pictures were allegedly taken during, Naomi's brief visit to London. They say Kabiyesi insisted on those photo shoots and said Naomi should not give any outside. Naomi didn't want to go. They say Kabiyesi insisted. They said this happened right before she made her unique return to Akure. It was meant to be low-key, but the moment those pictures landed in the Ooni of Ife's hand, it was, like a soft wind blew over his spirit. It reminded him of what he once had and what he still secretly longs for. Now, insiders say Ebony has been silent, not her usual self. Her, close allies say she's reevaluating her, place in the palace. But her family isn't letting up. They are asking hard questions. What have you gained from all this positioning? Okay, what have you really secured? Because truth be told, when it came down to it, when the Ooni of Ife had to showcase a woman to his royal associate abroad, it wasn't Ebony, it wasn't, Blow, it wasn't Oletik, it wasn't anyone else. It was Queen Naomi. That speaks volume. And let's not forget, Naomi didn't have to beg for the spotlight. In fact, she didn't even know the Ooni of Ife was going to share those pictures. He made that move himself, and that was, what rattled everybody. It wasn't for clout. It wasn't for noise. It was a statement, a soft but very clear one. This is the woman who still holds my admiration. You see, while others are fighting over access to the private jet, Naomi was on the private jet quietly, purposefully, with her belongings packed, and she settles further in her UK, arrangement. Not a word, not a fuse, not just grace. Grace is with Olori Naomi, and anybody who doesn't see it at this time must know that something is wrong with them. Dela writes, I'm going to bring you more update. Just hold tight. I am coming. I appreciate you guys so much. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.